Welcome to the video. Before we begin, if not already, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And click the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload. Comment your little heart out. And most of all, please enjoy. Now back to the video. Every time I hit a milestone, I have this moment where I'm like, how the hell did this happen? I get serious imposter syndrome and I start to feel like I don't deserve it. How did I get that thing? How did I make 300 movie reviews? I have a spreadsheet. I counted. How was I able to do this for 8 years? 2 reasons. My family believed in my silly little project. My wife believed and still believes in me. She points out my thumbnails whenever my video shows up on her YouTube recommends. I'm mentally hiding my face and she's proud. That drives me forward. My metrics is depressing and I'm obviously not in it for the money. But the other reason I do this? You guys. Every single one of you out there watching my videos, letting me share my thoughts, some giggles, maybe sometimes allowing me to brighten your day. I don't do it for the ones who might watch, it's for the ones who do. And I promised myself I would not give it up when things got hard, not to chase numbers, not to take things too seriously, and to, above all, have fun with it. And so far, it's still fun. Having an insanely successful channel doesn't seem likely right now, but I can dream, can't I? And with that amazing segue, everyone has nightmares. Mine are usually mundane, like being late to class, naked in public, or meeting a celebrity I like, then realizing they hate me. This iconic film introduced us to a villain who haunts the nightmares of unsuspecting teenagers. With a scarred face, razor-sharp glove, and a haunting sense of humor, Freddy quickly became one of horror's most famous icons. But this film isn't just about jump scares and gore. It taps into our primal fears of vulnerability when we sleep, and explores the thin line between dreams and reality. This is the original, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I close my eyes.
Tina awakens from a terrifying nightmare in which a man with a bladed glove attacked her. It's just a dream, yet she has slashes on her PJs. She was so loud her mom fell out of the sex swing. Her mom was like, cut your nails or don't have nightmares.
You gotta cut your fingernails, you gotta stop that kind of dreaming.
You can't have both. It was a time when school children sang about boogeymen and not an iPad in sight. Tina tells her friends about her nightmare. Turns out Nancy is also having nightmares, as is her boyfriend Glenn. Holy shit, that's Johnny Depp. Tina's afraid to sleep alone, so Glenn gets to be a third wheel at the girls' sleepover. They compare nightmares and they're eerily similar. Dirty green and wet sweater, knives on his fingers, and a bit of an attitude problem. Tina's boyfriend Rod jump scares himself into the party.
Came to make up, no big deal.
He's a bad boy with a knife and ain't afraid to use it. This is important for later. Rod and Tina had been fighting, so this is a step towards making up. Rod and Tina go inside to bang.
Please, Nancy.
Yeah, he seems trustworthy. Glenn and Nancy do not do it. But I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Rod and Tina finish up their unwed bliss. Grab a towel.
No more nightmares for either one of us then.
Huh. Rod's been having nightmares too. Such an iconic shot, isn't it? Tina's in her own nightmare now. And here's our first real introduction to Freddy. The first time I watched this, I was a little disappointed the long arms weren't a standard feature, but I got over it. We've all had dreams of being chased. They don't even have to be fast when they can do this. Now he's just showing off. She wakes up, but she's not entirely alone. Rod pulls the covers off and Tina develops 4 slashes on her chest. Maybe this is her kick. If you think this is a lot of blood on the ceiling, just wait. Rod's gonna have a tough time explaining this one. Tina's dead, locked in a room with Rod, who likes knives, who is now missing. He doesn't exactly look innocent. Nancy has to explain to her parents how a girl got slaughtered during a slumber party. Her dad's a cop, so he's probably heard it all. Rod is suspect number 1. This isn't about the movie, but we have this exact shelf. It holds part of my wife's salt and pepper shaker collection. I restored it and painted it black, but it's definitely the same shelf. Nancy notices she's being followed before Rod grabs her to tell her his side of the story.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Stop being sinister, dude. Daddy's not above using his own kid as bait, so Rod gets arrested. Meanwhile, in a boring class, Nancy has a nightmare of her own. Or do they call this a daymare?
No running in the hallway.
Every school had one of these kids, didn't they? Apple polisher. Dreams are really like this. Nancy is in high school, she opens the door, now she's in a boiler room. You in Fred's house now.
Who are you?
Freddy traps her, but she burns her arm on a steam pipe and this wakes her up. Someone put some butter on that? He didn't act on Tina because he thought this was just another nightmare.
Like the one I had the night before.
Here's that famous bathtub scene and one of my favorite bits from another review.
Welcome to my nightmare pit. Holy shit, those are teeth. Okay, man, I gotta run. You have a great day.
She takes some Dollar General stay-awake pills, which of course don't work very well. Maybe watching Evil Dead wasn't the best move to avoid nightmares. If I watch too many Mr. Ballin videos in a row, I wake up screaming. Oh, sorry, I'm looking for Sydney's house. Nancy decides to sleep with Glenn.
They turn off the light.
But not in the way you think. She wants to go to sleep with Glenn watching over her. In her dream, she visits Rod, then Freddy starts chasing her, and it's classic nightmare fuel. You never seem to be able to run fast enough. Thanks, Glenn. You had one job.
This is just a dream. This isn't real.
He's supposed to wake her up in case she starts struggling in her sleep, but not everyone flails in their sleep. They struggle, and Freddy is a dick to down pillows, but the alarm she set wakes her up. Nancy and Glenn go to the jail to check on Rod, which usually happens to people in jail, right? Where he's being strangled and hung by his own bedsheet. Seems a bit off-brand for Freddy, right?
But he's burned, and he wears a weird hat, and a red and green sweater really dirty.
They know something. Mom has a way to help. But Mom wants to help. Therapy? No. Sleep study? Yes. And yes, that's Charles Fleischer, the voice of Roger Rabbit. Random, huh?
What's she doing?
Don't tell me you lost your sense of humor already.
Nancy immediately has a nightmare and gets highlights. Nancy, are you a mutant? She also came out with a nasty gash, worst stripper name ever, and she has Freddy Krueger's hat. Okay, next time, try to grab a few bucks on your way out. That worked in sex dreams. You wake up.
You didn't sleep at all last night, did you?
Nancy's not sleeping no more. It's her only defense.
It even has his name written in it.
Explain this, mother. Nancy gets some light reading. Want to hear something funny? I used to have the same book. Read it cover to cover. No reason. Nancy's parents put bars on all the windows. So that put an end to Glenn's late night visits. And why put bars on these? It just looks weird. Mom puts down her bottle long enough to tell the tale of Freddy Krueger. Fred was a guy accused of killing like 20 kids, let out on a technicality, so the parents of Elm Street banded together and burned Freddy alive. Isn't it nice when neighbors do things together? On my block, we call that a cookout. The mom kept Freddy's glove as a trophy because it'll be worth a fortune at conventions. Glenn's parents won't let Nancy call him, so Freddy slides into her DMs.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Wait. Call me back. Not the worst thing Johnny Depp has found in his bed. He's got a lot of blood. Hope the paramedics brought a sponge. Nancy prepares for battle. Her plan is to go to sleep with an alarm set, grab Freddy, and bring him to the real world where her booby traps can take him out. But she has to find him first. She checks the boiler room in her basement. Freddy chases her out the front of her house, and she's running out of time. Her alarm is going off, and she doesn't have Fred yet. So she pounces on him right before she wakes up. And it works. She totally starts home aloneing Freddy. Her genius parents lock the house from the outside, so f*** anyone if there's a fire. You know what's scarier than Freddy? Liability insurance. More fire for Freddy. Nothing is more visceral than a good long firewalk stunt. Freddy's gone upstairs, where Mom is in a booze-induced coma. Nancy's mom is killed by Freddy. Great work, Mr. Vigilante Justice. Freddy comes back, but Nancy's just over it.
This is just a dream.
And she's been fueling Freddy this whole time, and she's no longer playing.
I take back every bit of energy I gave you.
Mr. Scott, one to beam up. I guess it was a dream. Mom's back, her friends are back, or maybe this is another nightmare. And it's not over after all. I don't know. They weren't expecting sequels, so this ending was allowed to be ambiguous and dreamlike. The kids are taken away by the Freddy Mobile, and Nancy's mom turns into a blow-up doll. Your interpretation may vary. That was a nightmare on Elm Street. With Jason, don't go camping. Candyman, keep his f***ing name out your mouth. Scream, screen your calls. But how do you defend against needing to sleep? Robert Englund's Freddy is an instant icon. He was darker, a bit more mysterious in this outing. In the sequels, he got quippier and embraced the one-liner kills, but he never got less scary. In fact, he only seemed to be that much more in control, truly enjoying himself. Freddy's presence is felt even when he's not on screen. The nightmare world is always shifting, always working against you, where you can't run, you can't hide from an entity who is just toying with you. Charles Bernstein's score contributes significantly to the film's eerie, unsettling mood, and I love a good spooky soundtrack. The nursery rhyme, it all adds to this dreamlike atmosphere that permeates the whole movie. Wes Craven's direction is sharp, pardon the expression. He crafts a world where the line between dreams and reality blurs, much like being in a dream. Craven builds tension with creeping dread and sudden, shocking scares. He turns this simple suburban setting into something terrifying. The visual effects, while occasionally dated, still remain effective. But Freddy Krueger continues to be an iconic horror character who lives on in your dreams. A Nightmare on Elm Street is 5 Bs. A quintessential horror film with inventive visual effects, oppressive atmosphere, and just a killer concept. A terrifying villain that creates a chilling and enduring classic. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, the bell, the usual YouTube stuff. And if you want to share this with others, cool. Let's do this. I'm theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles.